Hi everyone, it's Jennifer. I wanted to explain the first project you're going to be working on that you will be graded on. And it is the talk show. And it's worth 100 points. And I believe Alex has handed out the packets to you. So I thought I would go through some information to give you the background on what needs to be done for this particular project. You are going to be working in groups of 3 or 4. They have been assigned already and Alex has them. So you will be working with a group of 4. And in your group of 4, you're going to perform either the director, producer, floor director, TD. You'll rotate that. So for example, I have you guys ready to go on September 12th this week. That's what we're shooting for. So on that day, group number 1 is going to come in. And in that group of 4, 3 of the crew members are going to be talent. So 3 of the group members are going to be talent, and 1 of the group members is going to be the producer. You guys are going to write the script and all the information that needs to be done for you to be talent and produce. You're going to hand that over to, I believe group number 1 is put together with group number 3. Group number 3, which is also a group of 4, is going to direct, floor direct, TD. Now I know it says produce, but they're not going to produce. And usually they do teleprompter. Okay? Or if there's a large amount of students in class, which I have to say there is, we're at 16, and if no one's absent on the 12th, the person in that group of 4 will sit out. So it's usually the person that's about to direct will sit out before the director before they direct. It's just because of the large class size, and I'd like to keep everyone in a crew position during this production. So we do the shows 4 times. So I always use the example that one of my groups did a show called Where's Waldo? And the kid looked like Waldo. So he came in like the striped shirt, the glasses, the hat, and he was coming up with a new book that was like his visual aid. And they taped that show 4 times so that the other group, which is group 3, for example here, got to direct it 4 times. And they also got to TD it, and they also got to floor direct, and they also got to run the teleprompter. I'm sorry, or sit out because of the large class size. So that is what you guys are going to do. So you're going to create a talk show. It could be fake, like I said, the Where's Waldo example, or it could be about something that one of the group members would like to talk about. Maybe they traveled somewhere or have an experience I'd like to share. And that is what you can do as well. So it could be a fake or it could be a real. Within your group, though, of those of you who are going to be, and everyone will do this, be the talent, because we're in groups of 4, I said there needs to be 3 talent and 1 producer. Typically, we either have 2 hosts and 1 guest, or 1 host and 2 guests. You're just going to have to decide that. And when you think about the set, you can use a set that we've been working on in class for the round robins, for the practice shoots, or you can use the news desk, and we can move that news desk off. We just need to be really careful when we do it. We can move the news desk off, and you could put up a table there, or you could bring over the chairs and sit on that set as well. It just, depends how you guys would like to do it. So this production is going to be 5 minutes long, and you have, each day that you go, you have the entire class period to do it. Well, the first group that gets to go, which is group number 1, gets the most prep time. So you need to have most of your work done, but you will have about an hour of in-class time to do minor prep work before your production starts on the 12th, if that's the first day that you guys end up going, if it's the 12th. Then you'll have from 1 to 2. Then at 2 o'clock, or maybe even 1:45, the other team members start to help you prep and get your set together, put your cameras in place. Alex will have assigned everyone their crew positions. At 2 o'clock, we go into the control room, and then we just, first person directs, second person directs, third person directs, fourth person directs. That usually takes us from 2 to 3:30. At that point, we clean up. Alex will then take the SD card. he'll load it into the classroom. And then when you guys come in on the following day, the first thing you'll do is you'll watch what group number 1 did and how group number 3 directed it, and you'll critique it in class, which takes about 30 minutes. And then the group that's set to go on that next day, which should be group 2 and group 4, group 2 being talent, group 2 will then have about 30 minutes of some time to get their stuff together, and then they'll be ready to go at 2 o'clock. So going on through the paragraph here, it's going to be 5 minutes long. You get the entire day. Instructor's approval, all I say is just that it's TV appropriate. You don't have to seek Alex's approval, but just that it's appropriate for TV. I would also recommend that you stay in your seats, not to try to do a Maury show. When we do that in the beginning, we're so new at camera and directing that we can't stay with what you guys are doing if you're going to, walk off the set. So I would just stay seated through the production. All right, so on this sheet, you're also going to see the second page that Alex will give you. This you're going to give to Alex on the day of the production, and then he's just going to write who's ever directing that day. So whichever person in the group in the order, he'll write their names down, and then he'll just make comments to give back. He'll sit in the back of the room and just watch your shows and give you some comments. An example, I want to go to the checklist now. So the checklist is here. Again, this is 100 points. Some things that you're going to need to do on the day that you go. So group number 1 has the most pressure because they're the first group to go. You need to create an opening graphic. You can create this in PowerPoint, save it as a JPEG. You can go into Photoshop, save it as a JPEG. If you know After Effects and you want to have it as a moving graphic, you can do that, but you need to get it to Alex at least at 12:30 so that he can get it into the video system so that it can play. Please let him know if you're going to do a video version of it because Alex and I are both still continuing to learn that graphic software. If you're going to do a straight up graphic, then you're good to go. Closing graphics, you don't have to worry about. It's going to be taken care of on the day that you go because Alex bases it on attendance and he puts people in different crew positions. So on that day, we'll assign people into their crew positions. Complete mark dual column script. So I want to show you the script that we're going to be using. It is right here. So this is how to put it together. I'm going to be honest with you, I cannot follow these directions and I've never been able to get it to work. What I do is I just open this up and it is on Blackboard so you can find this script and I just erase what's here. So I just take that and then I type what I want. So with a dual column script, what happens is on the right is all the audio that is said, and on the left is the video commands. So that is how a dual column script works. So when you're putting this together, on the right you're going to put all your audio, on the left you're going to put your video cues. Now if I go over real quick to the packet that gives you an example, I just want to show you, you'll see how they did that here. So we have everything that the talent says, and then we have our cues over here. For this show, I let you use your cheat sheet, and I also let you put the cheat sheet on the side for the person who's going to be directing you. Now they can change it if it's incorrect, but you're going to kind of guide them on what you think they should do. So for this one, bars should be 30 seconds. It says a minute, but it should be 30 seconds. Black is 10. And then you'll fade up to your graphic, not a 2-shot, and then you'll probably dissolve to a 2-shot to start your show. The other thing I recommend is you can see we have the hosts. They say what they want on camera. They welcome everyone to the show. And then see where the guest answers. They don't put verbatim what the guest is going to say. And I would recommend that for you too. Because what happens is our show, it looks kind of funny because you're just looking straight at the teleprompter going, yes, John, I did go to Hawaii this summer and it was a lot of fun. It's just not comfortable because you're reading directly from the prompter. So you'll have an idea because you're working in your group. You'll know how you'll respond. And each show it'll change a little bit. But we keep with the talent, the host having a script, but not the talent that comes on to answer the questions. So again, this is an example. It says when to take 1, to take camera 3, to take camera 2, and then how to end the show as well. So again, use those notes that I gave you. Remember I gave you the directors. We've been using them for the round robins that you could look at. Use those notes to put at the bottom here to end your show and also at the beginning. So then again, the script, you'll find that on Blackboard. I'm going to close it out. Oh, yeah, don't save. Okay, so we have the closing graphic, the complete mark script, the rundown. So back over to here is a rundown. Now, this is a very, they're calling it a segment sheet. It is a rundown. It's a very, not a very detailed rundown. When we get to news, you're going to see how detailed rundowns are, and they are very detailed in the business. We keep it very basic here. I just want you to plan out your show, how you're going to use those 5 minutes, okay? So you'll see that it's very, very, very basic here. 0 to 10 seconds, she opens. 10 seconds, that's the opening of the show, like the opening graphics, 0 to 10 seconds. And then 10 to 20, you know, she's saying, hi, welcome to the show, I'm Dana. And then the interview starts, and then they close. So just keep it very, basic for that rundown. Floor plot. The floor plot, I'm thinking if there's one in here. I can't remember. Let me see if there's yeah, there is. So here's the floor plot. Everyone's going to be a 3 because we're large groups this semester. We're a larger class size. So either you're going to have 2 hosts over here and a guest, or 2 guests and a host. But then you're going to decide where the cameras are going, if there's anything in the background, if there's any props you're going to bring in. You know, the Waldo brought in the book. He obviously dressed like Waldo. So any props that you need, you're going to want to, mention that, maybe at the bottom here. That's the floor plot. B-roll. You need to do some sort of B-roll. So we go back to the example of the Waldo. He brought in the book, and that's what he showed. And that was just a JPEG that he brought in. Other people brought in a series of photographs. Others have brought in videos. So one acted like he was an extra. One of the girls last semester looked like Amy Schumer. And so she really does look like Amy Schumer. So she brought in one of Amy's movies and was talking about being in her new upcoming movie. And that's what they rolled in. So that could be something that you do for B-roll. If you're going to bring it in, let Alex know, because DVD, got to make sure it's working. We have it. I just don't know if it's working. If you're going to bring it in a video, you got to export it a certain way, which Brian needs to confirm with probably Brian, our graphics guy, in that, so that we can get that over for you. And then the other thing is you could also load it onto SSD, but Alex would then need to talk to Glenn about doing that. It can be done. It's not difficult. You just need to let us know ahead of time. Lower thirds will be done the day of. You just need to give that list to your graphics person so they know what your characters' names are, but they will be done the day that you go. And then the final thing is guest and backup questions. And so on the final page here, you're going to see the guest bio. So do the bio on the talent, and then we do backup questions. Here's why we do backup questions. And you need to make sure that you include them at the bottom of your dual column script. Include them there. Here's why we do them, is because the first show runs over. Like, we didn't have the timing typically, and it runs over. And so we're cutting you off, and you're not even through half your questions. Second, third show get pretty close to what you want. And then the fourth show, you're just going through everything so quickly that you need to fill in time. So we always say to bring those questions. So just put those at the end of the script before, or maybe right after, or no, right before the goodbye. I would just put like extra questions, list them, and then the teleprompter can always scroll up if they get the 30-second cue to your ending instead. So that's the info behind the project on the production side. So this side up here is completed by, my example that I'm using is group 1, who's the first group to go. They're going to be doing all of this for the first day that they go. They're also going to be talent for this day that they go. They are paired with group number 3, who will be graded that day on their own separate sheet for directing. So when you direct, you have to make sure that you bring in the opening graphic, you bring in the closing graphic, you remember to bring in that B-roll, remember to bring in the video or the photos, and you remember to bring in lower thirds and just the overall directing. Most people forget the lower thirds. So remember, you got to bring those in. The opening and closing graphics we're usually pretty good about for directing, and the B-roll is kind of like, typically we remember that too. The overall directing, we're still learning. We want to see that you're understanding it and you're growing with it. So if you get through your show, you're going to be fine with the points. And then this will be for group number 1. You would be graded on this the time that you direct, which is, So if group number 1 is talent on Wednesday, the following Wednesday they would direct. I believe that's how the schedule is. And so this is when they would get their points down here. So Alex would take care of that. And that's everything about the project. If you do have questions, you can send them to Alex, and Alex can send them to me, and I can answer them for him so that he can get that back to you. So if you do have questions that you need clarification on, we can definitely do that. So I wish you guys the best of luck. Have fun, be creative with it. We do get a lot of creativity on these talk shows. And again, any questions, let Alex know. Thanks so much.